I'm so excited to talk to you about effective writing with AI. I'm diving very deep into AI and how it really affects us when we are working with children in education, how it affects us as professionals and teachers and therapists, and how we can be really a lot more effective and efficient with the work that we do. I use AI absolutely every day. I use it multiple times a day. I'm using it very extensively, and I use a whole bunch of different programs. But I also think it's going to be a really big problem in education if we are not very careful with the way we use it. I think if we use it very carefully, with a lot of planning and a lot of wisdom, it can be very effective for our children. But if we are not on top of AI, and if we're not really learning how we can use it, our children are going to run away with it. They're going to be using it. They're going to have access to it. And then as adults and as educators, we're going to be kind of in the dark and oblivious as to how our children are using these programs. So we really need to know. So what I'm doing really quickly today is showing you how you can use AI writing applications very effectively for children's writing. This is just one quick idea. I'm going to have lots of different ideas, but this is one quick idea. And I would love to know your feedback. I'd love to see if you use this with your children, what you think. So the program I want to talk to you about is PowerChat AI. It's an Android app. Unfortunately, it's only an Android app. It's not available outside of Android. However, you can also do this with ChatGPT, and you can do it with other AI programs. But there's a specific reason that I'm talking to you about this program. And the reason is because this program has voice in and voice out built into the application. There are no others that I've found that have the voice in option as well as the voice out, which our children with special needs really need with learning and reading and with writing. And so this is just built into the app. So I'm going to be talking to you about the PowerChat AI Android app, and then also how we can use Google Docs and Google Sheets very effectively. So what we're going to be doing is creating content for students to learn and read and learn content, and then creating word bars so that students can then write about that content using word bars. I love word bars. I think word bars are extremely effective. There are some very excellent programs out there that allow us to create word bars, but they are also very expensive programs, and they're very specialized programs. So we're really looking right now at a free option here. PowerChat is free. There is somewhat of a paid version. I don't really know how that works, but the free version actually works very well. And Google Docs and Google Sheets are free, and we have access to those. So this is all a free option without any of the fancy specialized programs. This is the PowerChat AI app here. Ignore the content that's in here already. And you have the option under settings here where you hit automatically read responses. You have the option of never reading out after using speech input, and then always. Unfortunately, because I'm recording and using my microphone and my audio system, this program is not actually going to read out audibly because of my connection. But when you install this app and you play around with these settings, you will see how it works with having the text-to-speech read out once you have created content. So I'll explain that as we're going. I'll go back here to home, and here I'm going to dictate in. There are two dictation options. And when you play around with this, you'll understand it more. This dictation option down here is it's a dictation option that's built into the Android keyboard, the Google Android keyboard. This here is a speech option that's built into the actual program. This is a more direct, immediate speech recognition system. In other words, when you talk, it's going to listen and write down what you've said. And as soon as you've stopped talking, it's going to stop and it's going to immediately start working. This is really for quicker prompts and for things where you want to just really be quick and you want to dictate what you want quickly, and it gives you a really quick response. So those are really quick dictation options. This here is going to only allow you to dictate once you've hit the button, and then you have to hit the button to stop. And you can do this as many times as you want. So this is more of a longer, detailed kind of a dictation option. So I'm going to use this one for now. Give me a detailed description of the life cycle of a butterfly, comma, written in content relevant for a child in 3rd grade, period. So I hit go, and then it's thinking and it's going to bring it up. And as soon as the text comes up, it will start reading. Now, you're not going to hear that because of my recording system here. But if you do this on your Android, you will hear the text read out to you. Here where it says stop, what that means is stop the audio output. So this is really interesting. I'll tell you what it's given me now. It's given me all of this content written for a 3rd grader. So you can see it's a very narrative. It's a narrative for the life cycle. What it's given me, which is interesting because AI learns what you want. I had done this previously and I said, and add at the bottom a vocab word list. So I'm actually going to tell this to do this a little bit differently because I want to show you step by step. So I'm going to say, give me that same description but without the word list. So you'll see it's given me the description and now I don't have the word list. I actually do want the word list later on, but I specifically want it separately and I'll show you why. So now what I can do is this. I can copy this and I can put it into a Google document. I can paste this into a Google document. So here's the Google document, and bear in mind again, this did read out to the student on the phone, and right now I'm actually just showing you my phone screen, so all of this is on the phone. However, you know that if it's in Google Documents, it can also, here it is on Google Documents on my computer. This is Google Documents on my phone, and obviously it immediately is on the phone and on the computer, which we all know that once it's wherever you put it in Google Documents on one platform, it's going to show up immediately on the other platform. So because it was on PowerChat AI, it did read out verbally to the child. If you have a program like Read and Write on your computer, on Chrome, it'll read out to the student. There are all kinds of other reading programs. And really the reason I'm just showing you this PowerChat AI is because it just has the speech in and the speech out all within the one app. So now what you can do is I can go back to PowerChat AI and it remembers what it did, and now I can say, give me a word list or a vocabulary list for that information, period. The words and phrases should be comma with only 5 words or phrases per line. With only 5 words or phrases per line. So you can see it's busy reading this out. That's why I'm having to hit stop here, because it's actually reading it out. But you can see that we now have all of this text here, which I'm going to go and copy. And I'm going to go to Google Sheets. And I'm going to paste it into Google Sheets. Now, if I go to Google Sheets on my computer here, this is where some of the most amazing magic happens. If I select all, if I click on this square up here, it selects all. If I select all of this and I say, let's make it 14 point, then if I go here up to data, actually now what I have to do is this. I have to now go and click on number 1 and shift click on number, I believe it's number 5. Actually, I'll just go all the way down to 7. So I clicked on 1, shift click on 7. I go up here to data and I hit split text to columns. And the reason that this is going to work is that I have commas between each word or phrase. So when I hit split text to columns, you can see it's actually put them into separate columns. If I now select everything, and I drag one of my columns, you're going to see it's going to make all of my columns wider. And then if I drag this line down here, it's going to make all of my rows larger. So you'll see here now, this is a word bar. You've got a word bar that students can use to do their own writing. In Google Documents, they've got text that they can read to learn about it. Then they've got a word bar that they can then go and do their own writing. So really what you have is you were able to, obviously as a teacher, what you need to do is you need to make sure that this content is correct and what you want. If this content is not what you want, you can copy it and you can put it into Google Docs. You can put it into Google Docs and change it as you want. You could then change it as you want and put some of the vocab that you want in it, put it back into PowerChat AI and tell PowerChat AI to create a word bar from the text that you created. But anyway, the bottom line is you can either put your own text into PowerChat AI or you can ask PowerChat AI to generate the text. You can then say create a word list or a vocab list with only 5 words per line and they need to be comma delimited. You then put them into Google Sheets, and on Google Sheets, the magic is once you've selected all of this, you go down to where it says split text to columns. And at the moment, there's nothing to split because we've already done that. But when there are commas and extra words in each cell, it's going to split up your text to columns to create word bars. So I would love to know if you use this with your students. Thanks so much.